BBC journalist was threatened by the CIA over a UFO case. We've got that and more to talk about today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please like and subscribe and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Oh, and if you're curious about my latest ayahuasca retreat, I will have a few comments about that at the end of the video. So, okay, here we go from Liberation Times. A BBC journalist allegedly threatened by the CIA over 1994 UFO case landing case in Zimbabwe. Of course, by Chris Sharp. BBC journalist Tim Leach was allegedly threatened by the CIA while reporting on a 1994 UFO landing case at a school in Ruwa, Zimbabwe. The case involved 62 students from Ariel School in Ruwa who reported seeing a disc-shaped craft land in the field behind their playground on September 17, 1994. Some students even claimed that humanoid beings emerged from the craft. And of course, many of us will be very familiar with the Ariel School incident. And there's at least one witness of that incident who is having ongoing contact still to this day. And I talked about her just a few days ago. Following the incident, the BBC's correspondent in Zimbabwe, Tim Leach, visited the school to investigate the case. After filming a report and sending the tape to London to be aired on the BBC, the tape went missing. That meant Leach had to file a separate report. Interesting, the tape went missing. Very mysterious. Liberation Times can reveal that according to a source who wishes to stay anonymous, Leach confided that he had received threats from the CIA. Leach indicated that the CIA was interfering with his story. The source also provided Liberation Times with audio of a conversation with Leach from 1994 in which the journalist, sounding rattled, warned them to be very careful. Leach, a former member of the Foreign Correspondents Association, died in 2011. So yeah, very, very mysterious, guys. Not at all surprising. The CIA has apparently been involved in this for a long time, covering stuff up, intimidating people, even bribing people, spreading disinformation. It's alarming that such a well-respected and established institution would, in my opinion, betray their trust so badly to do this sort of thing, to suppress the reality of the phenomenon, to spread disinformation about it, and to threaten people, and very likely much worse. But let me know what you guys think. Meanwhile, since the Vatican is making news, I thought I'd remind you of the Russian scientist Genrikh Ludwig, I hope I'm saying his name kind of right, who I've talked about before. It's been a while, but I thought I'd give you a little refresher because he had access to the secret Vatican archives, and he's found stuff about UFOs. Yeah, the Vatican has known about the reality of the phenomenon for a long time. And yeah, so let's get into that. Unfortunately, he later was sent to a gulag. And, a sad story about a great man. A very accomplished man, But yeah, and this is all, from what he said, there's no way to verify any of this. But yeah, his bizarre claims came from reading Vatican's secret archives, now known as Vatican Apostolic Archive. It is 53 miles of shelving that holds 35,000 volumes of catalog and 12 centuries worth of documents. The archives are the stuff of historical legend. Documents at the repository are only released once they are at least 75 years old. That's crazy. Yeah, he was granted access to the Vatican Library, where he was able to read bizarre ancient manuscripts that probably could change the course of humanity. He claimed to have come across numerous texts on ancient codes, alchemy, and strange things about UFOs and ETs who visited Earth in the ancient past. According to him, he read texts which discussed the influence of aliens on the various ancient civilizations, such as the Egyptians, the Mayans, and the Mesopotamians. Not surprising at all, right? Subsequently, he began his research on the Maya civilization. Ludwig translated their symbols that turned out to be spaceships and spacesuits. He also found historical records of the use of nuclear weapons in ancient times and showed his photographs of the fortress walls of Babylon, melted by a monstrous temperature up to a height of 1.5 meters. Yeah, and it goes on. It is really, really intriguing. And I think that he was probably telling the truth about what he saw. Of course, again, there's no way to really verify it. Maybe if we had a team of remote viewers, of really good remote viewers, blind to the target, and they were all corroborating each other's information, that would be a good way to validate it. But otherwise, yeah, hard to validate until we can get access to the Vatican's secret files. But it definitely conforms to my own research, and I believe he was probably on the money. And, you know, again, a tragic latter end of his life. Meanwhile, this is from an interview with a gentleman on third phase of the moon and repeated by Casper's site about a guy who apparently took photos of the UFO that abducted him. And there's even a shot of the beings themselves moving in a window. So let's give a listen.
Many times I think I've sent you other video footage of the ship that I ended up going on with, and the contact I had identified himself as Voss through telepathic communication. There was no voice. And this was my first time on the ship, and right after I got delivered back, through this same beam of light that you see the ship departing with, I was able to get back to my truck and shoot this footage.
We're looking at this footage. You know, it takes off right behind the tree. What's the size of this craft?
This ship was about the size of a small house. It was probably about 80 feet to 120 feet in length, and the height.
Okay, all right, I'll let you watch this full interview at your leisure, but check that out, guys. Check it out. There's actually a shot right here of the, you can see, of the beings moving around in the cabin of the ship, supposedly, if this is legit. I believe this was filmed in the 90s. Yeah, he's right there, and you can see him moving. Is that a gray alien? Again, it's probably not glass. It's probably a hole that, you know, can be transparent. You know, I've talked about other experience or accounts, you know, where bizarre as it is, these ships seem to have windows, but they seem to be able to make windows wherever they want them. So yeah, and they can reconfigure the insides of their ships as well. Very interesting, the abilities they have. Of course, it makes sense if the ship is alive in some way, I guess. But it's just, yeah, fantastic abilities these guys seem to have. All right, but look at that. Look at that. All right. Let me get back. Okay. You can see the movement right there. Look at that guy. Look at that guy. You could see him moving. You could see him moving. If this was a model or something, that wouldn't be possible. And since it's from the 90s, I believe, I don't think this advanced CGI seems unlikely. So, but fact check me, maybe it's not the 90s. But, you know, super intriguing video, guys. Might very well be legit footage of a UFO that abducted this gentleman, and of a being that may have been one of his abductors. Meanwhile, Danny Sheehan says UFO secrecy is preposterous.
It's preposterous that they would think that they have the right to keep this secret. You know, and they come up with all kinds of theories as to why they're doing it, all pretending that it's for our own benefit. Oh, they're afraid that we would freak out. They're afraid that all of our religious institutions would collapse. You know, what they're afraid of is that they would lose control.
Yep, that's right. That is absolutely what they're afraid of. They can have all the national security BS excuses they want, but what really is at stake is losing control. Of course, there is another wrinkle to that, and that at the deepest levels, at the highest levels of the control group, they are almost certainly working with beings of one faction or another. And if those beings wanted disclosure, you would think that we would get it. Now, maybe they have respect for the human civilizations and want us to be able to do it at our own pace. I think that's possible. I totally think that's possible, guys. And if that's the case, then maybe some of these stories we've been hearing about the Galactic Council, as told by Haim Ashed and others, wanting disclosure and, encouraging strongly human leaders to provide that, or else might be true. But, as it is right now, from what we can see, the human powers that be definitely don't want to lose control. And if they are resisting the, elements of the phenomenon that are pro-disclosure, that's probably why. Meanwhile, check out this cool meteor that appeared over Spain and Portugal the other day. Look at that. Whoa, what an amazing sight. What an amazing sight, guys. That is incredible. And look at all the people out watching. Looks like quite a party, guys. Meteor party. Who's bringing the keg? Oh, that looks like fun. That looks like fun. Whoa, what a show. Nature is amazing. Whew. Of course, sometimes it's freaky. Check out this fish. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh no. That fish. Meanwhile, more details about one of the Boeing whistleblowers that committed suicide. As reported by Joe Murgia, additionally, police said Barnett was locked inside his vehicle alone when they found him, along with the key fob. And he's linking to an article here. I said reported by Joe Murgia, but it's actually Fox News. So, but just getting back to the brief rundown here. Additionally, police said Barnett was locked inside his vehicle alone when they found him, along with the key fob. They found no signs of unusual travel patterns or communications in his phone records, and hotel surveillance videos showed him leaving the hotel by himself before he reversed into a parking spot a few minutes later. Police said records showed Barnett bought the handgun legally in 2000, and they found his fingerprints on the notebook containing his suicide letter. One of Barnett's lawyers, Robert Turkowitz, previously told Fox News that he didn't think the aerospace giant had played a role in his client's death. However, he added it just didn't make sense that he would kill himself. Yeah, that's such a weird way. I mean, he just backed into a parking spot and killed himself. That's maybe. I mean, maybe, but that's the second whistleblower that has died by mysterious means in a short window. So 3 would be a pattern, right? 3 would be a pattern. I sure hope there is not a number 3. But yeah, 2 so close together. Both whistleblowers involving the same general issue. Where there's smoke, there very often is fire. Meanwhile, check this out, guys. This is wild. More proof of Atlantis or contact by the beings. Probably more likely contact by the beings or some modality that connected people to beings in a different plane. Something like that. Something was going on here, guys. Something was going on here. Check it out. There's these depictions, these cave paintings that are 14,000 kilometers, 8,700 miles apart. One is in Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh in India, while another is in Brazil. And check it out. They are both feature 13 vectors converging towards a central point. I mean, you could say if one of them had 8 lines and one of them had, 20 lines, then, maybe they arrived at that independently. But they have the same exact number of spokes. It's the same shape, guys. It's the same shape from 2 places halfway around the world, separated by seas, right? So, yeah, what's going on there, guys? Is it some human civilization spreading their thoughts around the world and their culture around the world? Is it contact by the beings that are spreading this? If so, what does this sign mean, right? Is it people in a trance state? On ayahuasca or some other, advanced form of meditation, just maybe, with no medicine, just meditating and having these profound realizations and getting this shape in their trance states. What's going on here, guys? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Speaking of ayahuasca, I know some of you guys are curious about the latest retreat that I went to. And I just came back from an ayahuasca retreat, not my first one. I think this was my 11th ceremony that I've been to. And, it was a different ceremony, different shaman, never sat with him before. Honestly, I didn't resonate with him or the environment as much, but the medicine was strong, and I was able to make a connection with Mother Aya. I'm still processing. I'm still integrating. I only got 2 hours of sleep last night, so if I seem a little ragged, that's why. Like I say, it's early days. I want to sit with the experience for a while. I want to get some sleep. And then if I'm moved, if I feel comfortable with sharing the experience more, I will. I'll probably give you too much information. Mother Aya is a purgative, guys. Is a purgative. So look forward to that. Yeah, right. Anyway, so I just wanted to touch base on that before I wrap the video up. And let me know your thoughts on that, even though there's not much to report on yet. So I'll let you know how my journey, my integration goes. I think I need to tell you that before I can really tell you about the retreat. So, the aftermath is just as important as the math, right? So, so look forward to that. And let me know what you think about the UFO news in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed the video, thumbs up, smash, like, subscribe, merch store, become a channel member, and of course there's plenty of other videos on the channel. And I'll see you guys next time, hopefully after I'm able to get some sleep.